All right, we are live. Bliss, everyone. Welcome to another live weekly reading here on my channel, Rissa Vibes channel. I'm Rissa Vibes, aka Readings by Rissa. So excited to connect with you as always. I'm back home. For those of you who've been following me for a while and know that I was in Indiana last week, I'm back home, back in my normal place, missing my family like crazy already, and so excited to go back, but so happy to be here at the same time in front of all of you, connecting with you again at our normally scheduled time. I know last week we did it a little early, so thank you for all of you who were flexible with the time and adapted given the last minute changes last week. But we're back on schedule this week, 1:11 p.m. Central Time. We're right here, right now, ready to connect to the weekly messages for this week, the energy, the astrology, the spiritual influences and understandings that we're going to gain in this reading are going to be amazing. I'm so excited that you're here. And if you haven't been here before or you haven't yet subscribed, go ahead and subscribe to this channel right now. Make sure to like this video and comment below as you resonate to this reading. And make sure that you share these readings with friends and family that you know need guidance or are open to understanding more about the astrological influences and spiritual influences of the week. It's a great way to introduce people to this essence of multidimensional consciousness and awareness of how all of the things in spirit, in the spirit world, and in energy in general coincide and harmoniously create our experience. So it's so good to be able to connect together and be validated in that harmony. And so this week is going to be a big one, okay? We've got a lot of stuff to go over, so be sure to get comfortable and be ready to take notes if you're one of those people that like to take notes, or just get into your meditative place of receiving information. And we're all going to get into it now. But before we start, let's just do a quick review of last week. Last week's reading was a little bit quick, so I want to just go over what we talked about last week real quick. The first card of last week was enchantment. So we were really encouraged to recognize the magic, the understandings of why we are experiencing what we're experiencing, new wisdoms in our enchantment and in our magic, understanding our gifts and our purpose, and starting to feel even more courageous in stepping out into them with positive action and positive faith. And then in the middle of the week, we had soul solitude, which was so great because we had soul solitude the week before in the beginning of the week. So soul solitude came through again last week, letting us know that we've been in this place of deep reflection. There's been this sense of a little bit of stuck and stillness energy in the past couple of weeks, and we're really just reflecting and being observant and figuring out the areas in our life that we feel we want more movement on, and finding ways to reflect and introspect on ourselves and on our life in order to start making the action and taking the steps and leaps into movement in the ways that we want. And then at the end of the week, I had my little brother Jaden on with us, and he pulled for us the synchronicity card. And so we had synchronicities at the end of the week, which is really where we're at now with this weekend. We're still at the end of the week from last week. So, and technically today's a new week, right? But the weekend tends to blend together. So recognizing the synchronicities and seeing that there's a lot of synchronicities in our life right now, a lot of signs from spirit. And sometimes these synchronicities, at least what I've realized, is that a lot of them are coming as voices outside of ourselves. Things that need to help validate us in questions that we had, confusions that we're having, doubts or fears that we're experiencing. That's an outsider's voice. It may even be somebody outside of yourself, an actual person, maybe a friend or a relative or a coworker that says something to you that really just jars you, and it feels like it's from your spirit. It's something that resonates so deeply in you that gave you an answer to a prayer that you had, or a question that you had, or a doubt or a fear you were experiencing. So a lot of our signs and synchronicities are coming through others, and also coming through number synchronicities, downloads and meditation, synchronistic events where you're at the right place, the right time, and you just happen to meet someone that you has what you need, or that you have what they need, and you're just in this harmony with the universe. And feeling that synchronicity of the universe is so important for the energy we're moving into for this week. So that was last week, enchantment, soul solitude, and synchronicity. But this week we're in 7/14, July 14th to July 21st, 7/21. And so this entire week, we have a lot of sevens. Okay, let's just talk about this. We've been feeling that since the first, right? Because we are connected to such an alignment right now. We did, the first was on a Sunday, I believe, and we felt this connection of understanding that we're in alignment with these sevens all throughout the month. So last Sunday was 7-7, this Sunday is 7-14, next Sunday 7-21. So we're building on this heavenly vibration. We're building on this connection to the angelic realm. We're building on this deep, higher vibrational momentum of the month of July. And with that month of July, we pulled the card for the annual reading all the way back in January. We pulled the card Forgiveness for July. So forgiveness is our theme this month, and I wanted to touch on it first because we talked a little bit about it for the past couple of weeks, but right now we're right in the middle of July. So it's super important to be able to come back and reflect on how you've progressed in your forgiveness. Have you forgiven some things that you had not forgiven in the beginning of the month? Have you taken those steps to forgive? Do you feel the difference in that forgiveness? Do you feel a sense of release, a sense of liberation, a sense of healing, a sense of movement forward from that forgiveness? Or was it difficult to forgive? Are you still battling those energies of forgiveness, knowing that you need to forgive these certain things, but having a really hard time? Let's check in with where we're at on forgiveness right now. So go ahead and comment below and let me know how you're feeling on forgiveness and where you feel like you're at. Feel free to comment and I'll read them in just a second. But I think it's so important to reflect on this as a collective and personally, right? Because we do more than just readings here. I don't just pull cards and talk about the energy. I really encourage you all to embody it, to apply these things, to really immerse yourself in the energy that we experience so that we are teaching ourselves and embodying a higher vibration every single week. Every single week we're doing the work, or we're recognizing that we have more work to do, right? So important. So just reflect a little bit on where you're at in forgiveness and how you feel from the forgiveness theme of this month of July, because that's also going to be a big part of these sevens, this higher vibrational activation of momentum. And as you forgive through the month of July, you also raise your vibration every week with these angelic realm connections with these sevens that we're experiencing numerologically. So let me go ahead and get into spirit messages before we get into numerology and astrology, because we have a lot to go on there. We do have a lunar eclipse on the 16th and a full moon on that same day in Capricorn, but we're going to get to that in just a second, and I will be doing a full moon lunar eclipse specialized reading towards the end of this reading as well. But let's go ahead and get into the spirit messages of this week first. And I want to just see what you guys are commenting on and who's all here real quick so we can check in. We've got Amy here. What's up, Amy Rogers? All Connected is here. Hey, Rissa. Hey, what's up? Shadell is here. Hello, love. Jamie is here as well. Bianca is here. Josie. What's up, Josie? Karen's here. We've got Anita as well. Andrea Johnson. Hey, Andrea. And we've got, who else do we have over here? Bahamian Princess. Who else? Marie is here also. Bobby Bell is here. So good to see you all. And let's just talk about forgiveness real quick before we move on, because we have some comments here. Josie says, my ex-best friend hit me up in the past few days, but it wasn't to say hey or hello. Or how are you? It was just to call me and tell me drama about X. I didn't need to know per I already know. Yes, so some of that forgiving can be hard when those behaviors keep repeating, right? Amy says, I've been forgiving myself a lot. Absolutely. Self-forgiveness, super hard to do and so important, because when we don't forgive ourselves, we can't move on into more positive perspectives of ourselves, right? Marie says, good afternoon, and tribe, hello. Andrea says, for me, allowing forgiveness allows me to live from my heart space in a more full way. Absolutely. And we've got Shadell saying, I'm having a hard time forgiving my ex-husband. I'm working on it. Absolutely, and that can be so, so hard. And if I'm saying your name wrong, please tell me, because I hate saying people's name wrong. So if you can tell me how to say it, or tell me if I'm saying it wrong, let me know, because I will do my best to say it right. Okay, you guys, so let's go ahead and move into, oh, and real quick, Anita says, I have been forgiving every day. Familiar relationships with sleeping family members requires it. It is challenging, but I continue to pray for them. Absolutely, absolutely. The prayer is essential, and asking for divine intervention for our forgiveness is essential as well, because sometimes we really got to work hard to forgive. We really got to dive deep into certain things, and that can be really traumatic and difficult. So sometimes it is, and most of the time it is, calling on our angels. And that's why we're so connected to these sevens as well. These sevens are representing that connection to the angelic realm and to source. Any guides that you have that are high vibrational, you can call onto that divine intervention for assistance in helping open your heart to forgiveness and helping you embody forgiveness. Because when you do that, you take some of the weight off your shoulders and you get some help from a higher power, right? A higher energy, higher vibration. Okay, so let's go ahead and get into spirit messages for this week, 714 to 721. These are all the messages that I got for myself, meditations, readings over the last week, and just downloads that I got about what's going on in the world and what we need to look out for and understand about this upcoming week. So the first one is emotional rebirth. Okay, this is going to be a big theme for us this week, and I titled this video "Conserving Your Energy," because it is so important that we pay attention to that through all of these themes that we're going to talk about this week. Conserving your energy. And a lot of us have been wanting to move, go, 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 and we've been getting ideas on how to go, go, go. But it's also incredibly important that as things start to speed up from a little bit of that stuck and still energy we were feeling in the past couple of weeks, that we also conserve our energy, that we don't give everything out in the first couple of weeks of this energy moving and building and movement and momentum, because we're going to have a lot of stuff going on. We're going to have a lot of things to do pretty soon, and it's just going to keep building, so we don't want to burn ourselves out too early, okay? So that also has something to do with our emotional rebirth as well, that we have been feeling that sense of stuck and stillness and observance of our emotions. We had that solar eclipse last week for the new moon, or not last week, but the week before, and feeling this energy of connection to our self, our true heart's desire, illuminating what kind of life we want and what we want to be doing and how we want to be perceiving ourselves and experiencing life, and then allowing us to use our sense of action, our sense of momentum, our soul power to move into that awareness, which we didn't move as quickly as we wanted to because we still had a lot of reflecting to do, which is what we've been doing over the last couple of weeks. So now when we go into this lunar eclipse that we're having this week, which I'll talk a little bit more about in a bit, we're going to be doing the same thing, but being aware of our emotions. So before we were aware of shadow selves of our character, our perspectives, our relationships, or certain things outside of us and sometimes inside of us as well. And this time we're focusing on more of the awareness of our emotional shadows, the deep intuitive aspects of ourself, the deeper parts of ourself, and our relationships, our communications with others, our interactions with others that are based in emotional frequency and vibration. All of that coming together in a rebirthing energy for us this week. So we're going to have emotional wisdom, and we're going to find emotional peace, but we're going to have to do some work to get there through really sorting out the emotions we've been feeling, starting to act on them in a graceful way, in an intuitive way, making sure you think before you speak, think before you act, think before you emote, right? Because that is so important with the Mercury retrograde we're feeling. And we also have a lot of other retrograde planets this week, okay? And I'm going to go over that in the astrology portion in just a second. So we want to really allow ourselves to nurture ourselves. Think about birth, right? We have a nurturing energy when anytime we're birthing something, whether it's a project, an idea, an actual being, a person, when we have women that birth and fathers that assist in that process, that sense of nurturing, right? So you want to nurture your emotions. You want to observe the growth. You want to see how they are being expressed. You want to notice and listen to your emotions. And then you want to start to imagine what you want from those emotions, what you want to shift or change, or what you want to cater to. And then when you actually are ready to birth those emotions in a balance, birthing the harmony, birthing the balance of your bliss, your emotional bliss, You become acquainted with your new energy, your new life force, your new level of emotional expression, your new emotional wisdom, your new emotional peace, your new emotional harmony. And that's when you feel that completion of rebirth, is that you've created something from something you've had or had not, and you've birthed it in a way that was so beautiful and expansive and unique that now you have this really amazing product, right? So we're going to feel that with our emotions, super important. We're also going to feel clarity realized from our new moon chaos a couple of weeks ago. So if you remember that new moon in Cancer that we had a couple of weeks ago with that solar eclipse, we're going to feel full circle awareness from that. New clarity realized completely from that energy. So if you were feeling extra confused, if you were feeling extra conflicted back then, know that you're going to get a lot of that balance. You're going to get a lot of the clarity this week. You're going to find more wisdom and awareness there. Come on. My dog's trying to get in on the reading. Okay, so then on top of that, we also have confidence restored. Confidence restored from any confusion of last week. A lot of us felt some confusion, felt stuck, felt insecure, felt doubtful of their gift or their purpose, felt a little bit off kilter in certain ways, nervous about the next move, knowing that there's a lot of opportunity maybe, but afraid of making the wrong decision. So all of those feelings of insecurity are going to be cleared this week, and our confidence is going to be restored this week. So any confusion is just going to fade away, which is so great for all of us, right? And if you don't feel that confusion anymore, then good job, you've cleared it already. And if it hasn't hit you, then good job, you've stayed aligned and you haven't gotten it. Or maybe it's going to hit you in a couple weeks and you'll need to be like, oh snap, she was talking about this 2 weeks ago. I think this is what I'm feeling. Let me go back to that reading 2 weeks ago and rewatch so that I can get on track. Totally normal, because we all process things at different paces, at different times. Sometimes we can process something really quickly that somebody else processes really slowly, but then they process something really quickly and we are back on the same track. So it can be different for everybody, whatever you're experiencing. So honor that and listen to your emotions, right? That's going to be a really good indicator of where you're at on that spectrum of confusion or confidence and things like that. But either way, we're going to find a balance and we're going to find more clarity, and that is going to be a temporary energy always. Confusion and doubt, remember, is always temporary, especially when as soon as we realize it, it starts to clear. Okay, also tons of new light codes downloaded between eclipses, okay? So we had that solar eclipse during the new moon energy a couple weeks ago. Now we're feeling this full moon and lunar eclipse on Tuesday, and so we are right in the middle of two eclipses, actually more middle of last week that we were right in the middle, but we're still in between them. And so we're feeling a lot of light codes, and you probably already started to feel them, where you're having restless sleep, you're having really active dreams, but you can't remember. You wake up and you feel like you definitely did something in your dreams. You felt like you kind of did a lot of work, like you didn't really rest, but for some reason you're more energized than when you woke up. Also feeling like you're getting and hearing tones in your ears or vibrations in the ground, or feeling extra sensory perceptions through your intuition, where you're seeing maybe aura colors, or you're noticing that there's a presence of energy behind a person you're speaking to, or this angelic aura about them, and you can feel these subtle energies and emotions and experience and synchronicities and communication with spirit world. So the veil is really thin, and light codes are downloaded when the veil is thin, allowing you to really activate new aspects of your intuition, new aspects of your spiritual connection, and new aspects of your gifts and your purpose as well. A lot of starseed connections are going on right now, disclosure and connections with galactic beings. I offer cosmic connection readings, you guys, so if you're interested in a cosmic connection reading, it's a specialty reading of mine, and it will definitely change your life if you feel like you've been guided to understand more about starseed quality or cosmic quality of yourself, or just multidimensional quality. Even mermaids and fairy connections and things like that come up in those readings. So if you're interested in that, I've got a little special going on at the end of the this reading that I'm going to disclose to you guys. So make sure to stay to the end of the reading because I've got a couple of specials I'm going to give you guys for readings today. But anyway, so lots of those light codes downloaded between eclipses, between the sun and the moon eclipse. So we had the solar eclipse, which was really about our actions a couple weeks ago. And then this week we're having our lunar eclipse, which is about our intuition. So lots of light codes downloading for both actions and intuition to help us have balance, confidence, and courage to use our intuition and act on it. Okay, that is so important. Balance, confidence, and courage to use our intuition and act on it, okay? Because it's one thing to use our intuition, know what we need to do, but are we going to be confident and courageous enough to act on it? That is where we're at right now. And we're going to figure out where we're at in that this week, and we're going to be encouraged to start acting on our intuition this week as well. Okay, so moving on, self-love is no longer compromised this week, okay? We're really realizing what we need and what we need for our self-love and our self-nurturance. And now we're starting to get a lot more of that throat chakra charge, that ability to communicate and express truthfully and gracefully what we need and want without compromising that. So we're not compromising self-love anymore. We're not doing things for the sake of others that make them more comfortable than they make us. We're doing things that make us both comfortable, right? We're finding ways to honor our truth and to express it and claim it so that we don't ever feel limited or stuck by our own hands, because those are things that we create on ourselves by assuming that we can't step up for ourselves or stand up for ourselves, or having a fear or doubt in the way it may be received. Most of the time when we do stand up for ourselves and what we really want and desire, the people around us that are involved will absolutely support us because they love us too, and they want us to love ourselves as much as they love us. So important for us to do that and to claim that energy. Now, with that, let's see. Light beings must conserve their own energy. So that's really where I'm coming from with the title, okay, of this video, because when we self-love and when we choose to not compromise our self-love, we conserve energy. So it's not even about not acting or not moving or just trying to rest and like recoup and like keep all of our energy still. It's not that. It's about making sure that we're not exerting energy that isn't going to be received in response, that isn't going to be reciprocated. It's about allowing ourselves to make sure that we fill our cup up before we fill others, and making sure that we don't compromise that policy, that commitment to ourselves. That's how we conserve our energy, and that's how we make sure we utilize our energy for the things that we really need them for, instead of giving to people like Josie's friend who's calling about her boyfriend who needs to unload all of this energy. That can't help her or Josie, because that's going to cause Josie to give energy that she doesn't really need to give, and it's going to enable that friend to keep not relying on herself for healing. So we've got to do that self-love first and not compromise our self-love for the sake of others' comfort, okay? Thanks for letting me use you as an example, by the way, Josie. I know I didn't ask, but I'm sure it was fine. Okay, so lots of need for that over the next few months, so really pay attention to it. It's not just this week, it's just starting this week. So this is going to be throughout the next couple of months, probably till the end of the year, where we're really going to need to focus on not compromising our self-love, okay? Tower and chaos may be all around you now or over the next few weeks, but your methods of managing it will be so aligned that you won't feel the effects as much as others who won't be aligned, okay? So given all of these amazing things that we're feeling this week and we're going to feel and we're going to learn, with that emotional rebirth comes some tower moments, okay? It comes some destruction and breaking down. You got to break stuff down to build stuff up sometimes. And a lot of times it's better to start with completely fresh, clean slate, a completely new surface, instead of trying to build upon something that was halfway built or halfway sturdy, right? We want to sometimes clear everything, let go of everything, destroy and demolish everything in our path so that we can build up, okay? And not to say in a destructive way where we're like violent about it, but it's more about demolishing any doubt, demolishing any fear, demolishing any kind of of resistance in our path to our purpose. Noticing, okay, I have this goal, I have this desire, I have this truth within me. What is standing in the way? What am I standing in the way of to get there? And what are other people doing to stand in my way to get there? And starting to just clear all of that out of the way. Because when you do that, you also clear the doubts and the fear. You clear the fear that of not having those things in your life that have been a comfort blanket for you. And when you get to that point, then you really jump into new energy and new experience. And I wrote this song Jump right around this time last year. So it's really significant that we're here again. And this is kind of significant of the energy every year, because we're just in front of the Lion's Gate portal on the 8th of August. And so I released my single Jump off of Spirit Junkie last year on August 8th because of that energy of taking the courage to jump and taking the courage to clear and taking the courage to truly follow your passion, follow your true heart's desire, and not let anything compromise that goal. That's what Jump is all about. So if you need that kind of pep talk, if you need that kind of emotional or energetic charge, go over to Spotify, Tidal, iTunes, Google Play, YouTube even. I've got a playlist here on the channel that's called Spirit Junkie, and listen to my song Jump off of the album Spirit Junkie by Rissa Vibes. That's me. And I think it'll give you some really good confidence and courage and encouragement for this energy that we're going to experience, because there is going to be some tower moments for us. There is going to be things kind of just burning away and clearing, a little bit of chaos, a little bit of things breaking down and clearing out. And it's going to cause our emotions to stir up a bit. It's going to cause us to be more aware of our emotions, right? To use that wisdom, that ability to observe our emotions in order to have that emotional rebirth we're talking about. So this is a good thing. These tower things, these tower moments, we call them tower moments in the tarot because that's the tarot card of like this, what we've built up is starting to crumble in a lot of ways so that we can build something new. And so we're going to feel a lot of that, and it's going to be okay because we're all feeling it together. And we also have our ability to heal and our wisdom that we're going to gain from it to excite us and to give us an incentive for getting through that emotional rebirth, okay? So that'll be over the next few weeks, and like I said, your method of managing it will be so aligned that you won't feel the effects as much as others who aren't aligned, and you're going to really notice it. You're going to notice, okay, they're going through something equally traumatizing as I am, but I'm really balanced and I'm pretty good. I'm pretty able at seeing the positivity of it, but they're over here freaking out, right? Pulling their hair out, freaking out, throwing tantrums. So that's going to show you where your alignment is, and it's going to give you a little bit more confidence in yourself as well, because you're going to say, hey, I was that person last year. I was that person a couple of weeks ago when I didn't know how to handle this kind of thing. But now I'm aligned, and now I can help this person become aligned. And this is a gift and a service I can give back, which is amazing. So with that, tower is a part of our rebirth, right? So it's so important, and it's something to be grateful for. Sometimes things have to break to build up, and also we experience that now and the rest of the year in cycles. So know that this is going to be something we're going to have the opportunity to get better and better at, and that we're going to get stronger and stronger at. So it's not going to be the end of our tower moments this year, but it is going to be something that's going to give us a sense of traction in our ability to overcome and endure tower moments, so we don't feel as maimed by them as we used to, okay? Let's see what your comments are real quick before we move on. Those are the spirit messages, guys, by the way. So that was the end of the spirit messages for this week. I'm going to move into astrology next, but I'm just going to check and see what you guys are commenting real quick just to see. Andrea Johnson says, I've been seeing so many orbs and colors and lots of ringing in my ears. Wonderful. Amy Rogers says, I can see more spirits lately, but they are showing me white. Usually they are black. Very cool. So you're getting more light beings as well, and different aspects of energy showing up to you. Wonderful, wonderful. Let's see. Josie said, also by resigning from my job, I had to say my managers do not want to see me grow. Good. So clearing away jobs and opportunities that are not serving you anymore. Keep it up. Hedwig says the song Jump is helping. Good. I'm so glad. And I am so happy for you guys in really actively communicating with each other about these things, because that's how we come together. That's how we lift each other up. And that's how we find our soul tribe family and keep them close, because we need to keep our soul tribe family close during this time. So important, so that we can help each other and feel like we're not alone, right? Just that is a help, okay? And it helps me too to know that I'm not alone, that I have this beautiful community I can talk to about this stuff too. Because I know a lot of us, we don't have as many spiritual friends or people that are connected in this way or so active and involved in the energy. And so it's really nice to be able to come here every week and have our own little kind of powwow of energy and discussion. So I love, love, love doing this. All right, so let's get into the astrology and let's talk about that, the astrology influences. We have a big one, of course. We've got the lunar eclipse and full moon in Capricorn on Tuesday, the 16th. So only a couple of days away. If you are super moon sensitive, you're probably already starting to feel the effects of the new or of the full moon and feeling the energy of the eclipse as well, especially because we just had a solar eclipse a couple of weeks ago. So lots of energy there. So I'm going to talk about that in depth in just a little bit, but let's just go over some of the highlights and the rest of the highlights of astrology and numerology before we get into the full moon eclipse reading, okay? So we've got the lunar eclipse, full moon in Capricorn. The sun is in Cancer during this day on Tuesday, the 7th or the 16th, and it's actually going to be really late in the night in Tuesday and kind of creeping into the 17th for some people. So it's Tuesday, Wednesday. It depends on what time zone you're in and where you're at that the moon will hit, but it's kind of right there in the middle of the week. And this is going to be a relationship-oriented and centered, relationship-oriented moon centered around showing us some shadow aspects of our emotions, like I talked about, allowing us to rebirth in our emotional body, allowing us to see any doubts, fears, and insecurities that have been holding us back from our path and purpose that was revealed when the solar eclipse came, allowing us to really feel connected to our emotional body. And we also may just feel a depth of emotion. It doesn't necessarily have to be negative emotion. If you've done a good job clearing doubts, fears, and insecurities, or you haven't had a lot of things that have popped up to test those things, then you may just be feeling an extra depth of emotion and an extra depth of intuition, which is also going to be a big deal and something that people that are feeling the doubts and fears will also feel to help them raise up out of those doubts, fears, and insecurities. So lots of rebirthing energy in the emotional body for that lunar eclipse and full moon in Capricorn. The full moon in Capricorn, Capricorn is an earth sign, so we're grounding into our emotions. We're feeling more committed to ourselves and committed to our dreams. We're feeling more ambitious, and that's going to help us with the Cancer sun and the solar new moon energy that we felt in the beginning of the month as well, feeling more capable of acting upon our emotions and acting upon our ambitions from our emotional drives, the positive emotions we have, our feelings of excitement and bliss and encouragement. All right, so I'll talk more about that in just a little bit, more depth of the lunar eclipse and full moon. But first, let's go ahead and go over some other astrological influences. I talked a little bit about the retrograde planets. There's tons of retrograde planets that we're experiencing right now. Right now, we have Mercury in retrograde, Chiron in retrograde, Jupiter in retrograde, Saturn in retrograde, and Neptune in retrograde. 5 planets in retrograde, and I think Pluto is in retrograde, or else it just went direct last week. I can't remember. But we have a ton of planets in retrograde. So I'm just going to give you a little bit of an understanding of what each planet does. When a planet is in retrograde, what it means is that we need to focus even more intently on the characteristics that that planet represents, okay? It means that the planet is literally causing us to focus on it more than it ever has. It's kind of going against the stream. It's creating tensions. It's calling for attention, okay? So Mercury retrograde is in charge of communication and consciousness. So we're getting called to be more attentive to our communication and our consciousness. Chiron is allowing us to be more attentive to our healing, okay? And notice how all these things tie together too. So this can kind of give you a picture of what you might be experiencing and why you might be experiencing and some of the wisdoms your spirit is calling you to tap into. So like I said, Mercury in charge of communication and consciousness, Chiron in charge of healing. These are the things that we need to focus on intently right now. Jupiter, family, love, and home. Saturn, tough love experiences and learning through tough love moments. Neptune, spirituality and creativity. Pluto, rebirth. Okay, so that in itself tells us a story of how we are really, really connecting to these aspects of ourselves and really doing the inner work necessary to amp them all up, to create a beautiful harmony between our spirituality, our healing, our communication, our love and family, our tough love experiences, our wisdom in all of those areas. So it makes sense, right? What we're going through based on all of that, it just makes complete sense. And it allows us to feel a little less irritable or irritated or confused and throwing our hands up like, what's going on, universe? Why are you doing all this to me? Well, everybody's getting it in their own way. The retrograde planets are there for everyone to experience, and everybody is feeling the effects of it, and we're all going through this together, and we're all finding healing together, and we're all finding wisdom and rebirth together. And isn't it such a blessing, such a gift, such an amazing opportunity for us all to do it together here and to connect here and to have a community where we can reach out to and speak about these things. And remember, if you love this community on YouTube and you want to tap in even deeper, I've got Instagram at readingsbyrissa, where we connect every day. I do daily IGTV videos. I took a break off last week because I just needed a break to reintegrate from my experience with my family and my traveling, but I do this all the time, and I do videos every day that talk about the things that we talked about in these readings, and to help you embody even more throughout the week, and to help you process even more throughout the week the energy we're experiencing, and also give you an opportunity to communicate together on comments and shares and messages on Instagram as well as YouTube, so that you can feel connected to the community and that you feel like you have the support you need to get you through everything, because sometimes we really go through it, y'all, and we need that positive, healed, spiritually connected community to plug into instead of out of aligned communities. And sometimes if we feel really alone and we really need comfort, sometimes it makes us go back to the people that are out of alignment, or that we know are kind of doing things that are different than what we really want to be doing, but we're comfortable with them and we need that sense of community, so we go back running to that, when really we could just be running forward into new groups, new soul tribe, new connections to people who really want to evolve and they don't want to go back to the past, right? Because that's just going to delay your progress. So anyways, that's my rant. Last astrological influence that I want to talk about before we move into the full moon eclipse reading of this week is 7/19. Okay, 7/19, which I believe is Thursday. 7/19 is Thursday. So feeling into the Mercury retrograde entering Cancer on that day. That means that with our focus on communication and consciousness from Mercury retrograde, we're also going to have that emotional, heart-centered focus of Cancer. We already know what that feels like because we felt Cancer in the new moon 2 weeks ago, and we were feeling our heart cracked open and vulnerable and like, whoa, what is this? I'm having all of these heart understandings and clarities, and it's making me doubt everything, and so this is kind of what we're going to be feeling a little bit on Thursday, except the Mercury retrograde is going to give us a little bit more ease in our consciousness and our balance in our heart, because we've already felt a lot of the tumultuous energy and chaos from the Cancer new moon of really being integrated and introduced to the real emotions in our heart. Now we're coming back with a consciousness from Mercury retrograde and allowing us to feel more conscious of our emotions in our heart, especially with our emotional rebirth, and feeling like we're really having an understanding of our emotions and our relationships, and having an understanding and a deeper consciousness about why we're vulnerable in those areas and what we need to do. So it's going to bring more wisdom, more heart-centered wisdom than heart-centered chaos and vulnerability, like the new moon that we had. So that'll be on Thursday, feeling a little bit more connected to the consciousness of our heart and the consciousness of our emotions, which is going to tie so perfectly to the rebirth of our emotional body from this lunar eclipse and full moon, okay? So before we move on to the lunar eclipse and full moon, let's just take a couple of breaths here just to integrate together and connect. Let me just see how you guys are doing on your comments. We've got Hedwig saying, rebirthing your authentic self. Go Josie and Amy, you're well on your way. Yes, for sure. And so I'm so glad you guys are talking about this, because I know you guys are going through your own experiences through this, and it's so fun to encourage each other, and it's also fun to see how the similarities are through our experiences, right? Amy Rogers says, doing my best. Keep going, girl. I believe in you. You got this. You too, Josie. And then let's see what else you guys said. Yay, may positive vibes surround you today and every day, Josie says. Beautiful, beautiful. Okay, so let's go ahead and take some just 3 deep breaths to connect, and then we can pull some cards and go right into the eclipse reading. So let's take a nice deep breath together as a collective, inhaling. Big exhale to relax, releasing any tension, releasing any drama, releasing any stress, releasing any pain from the body. Another deep breath in, filling our bodies with love and gratitude with the breath. And exhaling into that love and gratitude of self, that compassion for self and others, that unconditional love, that emotional healing with another deep breath in. And exhaling to relax into the messages of this week that will be revealed from these cards as a summary as we move into the card pull. You can stay in meditation or you can open your eyes. I'm going to pull a card for the beginning of the week. That one came up right away. I've got the Angels of Atlantis card deck for the beginning of the week. Healing with the angels in the middle of the week is what's calling to me now. This one popped right up. Perfect. So let's keep it this way so I read them right. All right. And then last but not least, we've got the Spirit Messages deck for the end of the week. Let's see what comes up from there. Oh, there it goes. All right, end of the week is figured out. We've got all 3 cards. Let's check them out, and then we'll do our full moon eclipse and lunar eclipse reading just after. Oh wow, okay, this is great because I just pulled a card that was just like this one, so I know that this is absolutely our energy this week. So, okay, the first card that I pulled from the Angels of Atlantis deck, Archangel Zadkiel with Security. This is a throat chakra card, and this is also a card that allows us to connect to our secure voice, our secure truth, our feelings of confidence and courage and stability in our truth and our true heart's desire, and starting to feel secure in speaking it, expressing it, communicating it clearly and gracefully and effectively. This is so important. This is a big part of our emotional rebirth that we're going to experience this week, and something that we talked about in the Spirit Messages as well, where our communication and our ability to speak up for ourselves, our ability to really not compromise our self-love, to really speak up when we need a break, or speak up when we need something or want something, and not quiet our voice for the comfort of others. And so now we are feeling more security in our throat chakra. This is a beautiful turquoise blue. If you need throat chakra help, get a turquoise crystal or a turquoise pendant or any kind of light blue crystal. This is one too. So allowing yourself to really connect to your throat chakra, and don't be afraid to speak up. And this includes journaling at first. If you know you have a hard time speaking your mind or speaking your truth in a graceful way, or just in general, start to journal your truth. Start to journal your emotions. Start to write them out on paper. Start to write letters to the people that you wish you could have said something to, but you didn't let yourself say it, or you didn't know how to say it. You don't have to send those letters. You can just write them so you can get it off your chest and start to identify your true voice. Once you start to identify your true voice on paper and in a personal setting on your own, where you feel safe and secure, then you can start feeling safe and secure to speak about it, because you now know what your voice sounds like, and you now know what you like about your voice and what you need to adjust about your voice, better ways of saying things or whatever it is. And then you feel more confident in actually speaking it. So this is super, super, super important. Security in our throat chakra, security in our truth, security in our judgments, our abilities to make decisions and to judge things appropriately. And this is also finding security in releasing addictions, because the throat chakra is in charge of judgments and addictions as well. So really paying attention to those things also for the beginning of the week with Zadkiel and the card of security, okay? Middle of the week, children. Okay, this card is super important. I'm gonna hold it back here. Oh, there we go. Okay, so children. This is super important. This is allowing us to feel into our inner child energy, and also to use children as an example of bliss as an example of really honoring their emotions. Children are great at honoring their emotions. They let you know exactly how they feel right when they feel it most of the time, right? And they're very connected to their emotions. Now, they're not always emotionally mature like we are, but they are able to identify their emotions and express them confidently, which is something that we can learn from for balance in certain areas of our life. Really being able to not quiet ourselves, not quiet our emotions, and to really honor them, to listen to them, and to demand other people to honor and listen to them too, right? Which children do a great job of. So of course we need balance in that. We don't want to be throwing tantrums on the floor of a store or anything like that, but we do want to be honoring our emotional body and speaking it in a graceful way so that we don't quiet our voice or our emotions. And that's what this inner child energy is going to allow us to do. It also allows us to feel more positive emotions and to allow us to really see the excitement and to have the excitement in our heart that an inner child has, that a child has when they know that they're about to accomplish something amazing, or when they're just completely confident that they can do it, or allowing themselves to feel excited about even the smallest thing. Just laughing hysterically about the smallest thing can be so refreshing to see and such an example of how we should live our life. So really focusing on children as an example in emotions and expression. And then, so that's the middle of the week. So then at the last part of the week, the end of the week, we've got, Serenity. Serenity. This card is amazing. I love this card. I'm just going to tap into it there so you guys can see it a little bit, angling it as such. But this is Serenity. This is giving us a sense of peace, a sense of contentment. This is the sign that the emotional rebirth is done. When we feel this serenity, when we feel emotional fulfillment and bliss, it's a sense of calm after a storm, okay? And that's what we're going to experience with this card at the end of the week, letting us know that there may be some tower moments, there may be some fits, there may be some ups and downs emotionally this week, but it's all going to reveal wisdom, it's all going to reveal truth, it's all going to reveal serenity and peace at the end of that with the awareness we gain. This Serenity card also says the most important relationship you can have is with yourself. This is a time to honor, nurture, and love yourself more by seeking out and removing any negative feelings and emotions that are left over from yesterday. Don't let past issues and resentments interfere with your serenity today. Don't let past issues and resentments interfere with your serenity today. I had to read it again a second time because it's so true. And that's really what we're about, is loving ourselves. Remember, we go back to that love, self-love message, and the spirit message is don't compromise your self-love for anybody's comfort. Find peace in your ability to honor, nurture, and love yourself more. So amazing. So beginning of the week, security, middle of the week, children, and end of the week, serenity. And I am so excited to move on into the full moon and eclipse energy reading. So let's do that. And I just want to check on you guys' comments. I know you guys are doing good. What's up, Kiwi? I see Kiwi here. Hey-o. I've got tons of people here. So happy. Let's see. I'm just going to see what Kiwi said. Go all the way up. Kiwi said, I haven't been meditating and drinking water. All my regular stuff I've been off. That's okay. You'll get back on it. Hedwig says, absolutely. And this is balance, you guys. So just knowing that, noticing, and that's what this is about, these eclipse energies. It's a check-in, right? It doesn't mean that you have to be doing it all consistently. It's important to try, but sometimes we get ahead of ourselves. Sometimes we get knocked off track. So the eclipses and the energies that we're feeling right now is about a check-in. It's checking in on what we haven't been doing that we want to be doing more of, and just starting to apply the action. And as soon as you have the awareness, you've done a great job because you've accepted the awareness and now you're going to apply it. So that's all that you need to do, and it'll all become way smoother and easier to do so. All right, so let's go right back into just some things on this full moon eclipse. So let's talk about it. Let's talk about it right here. Okay. And then we'll pull a couple cards. I'll do a couple channeled messages for all the zodiac signs in just a second too. I'm going to breeze through this pretty quickly, but I'm not going to rush it. I just want to go over the main things, and I'll go over all the notes, but we've talked a little bit about it, and it's really a big kind of in-depth repeat of what we are experiencing this week is the lunar eclipse and full moon in Capricorn. That's going to be the main influence of all the things that we experienced this week that we already went through. But just to give you a little bit of an in-depth understanding of this full moon in Capricorn, like I said, the sun is in Cancer. So we're having the sun illuminating our emotional body and our heart chakra, letting us know our true heart's desires and what we need and what we want. So with that, we have this full moon in Capricorn. Now the Capricorn is going to ground us into our emotions, allowing us to feel more committed to ourselves and committed to the awareness we gain from that sun in Cancer, which is giving us more relationship-centered focus, showing us shadow aspects of ourself in emotional body and interactions with others, and allowing us to see any doubts, fears, or insecurities. And perceptions of lack is a big one in this moon energy that we're experiencing as well. So ideas of lack must be cleared for the relationship to grow closer or for the relationship to end in response for self-growth. So some relationships may be ending, some projects, some jobs, some energies or aspects of your life may be coming to an end this week or have been slowly over the past few weeks. But know that any ideas that pop up in a state of lack in response to those endings should be cleared, because it's not a sense of lack. It is divinely conspired by the universe. The universe has sent you into these energies of release and endings so that you can move on into fulfillment, knowing that with the endings come fulfillment in your emotion. It comes emotional bliss and rebirth. So just trust that and know that it's important to just not let any doubts, fears, or sensations of lack cloud the way. If you're under a time constraint in certain things and you still feel like you're losing something or you're lacking something that you need by a certain time, surrender that energy to the source. Ask and pray for what you want and be specific about the timeline you need it by, and really open up to all of the possibilities of receiving it, and listen to the signs and synchronicities, because you might already be getting the answers right in front of you. But if you're in an emotional turmoil or a sense of lack, you're not going to see what you have and what answers you have right in front of you. And sometimes it just takes sitting in meditation and reflecting on what you have to be grateful for, what you have that's going right, what you have that's going well, and giving you a sense of purpose and completion and fulfillment for you to see what you need to see in order to move forward in that energy and not cling to what you don't have or what you're feeling you don't have, okay? A lot of times ideas and inspirations can come from that sense of perspective when you just say, okay, I know I don't have this thing that I need, but what can I do to work with what I have? Can what I have be creatively maneuvered to still give me what I want, even though I don't have this thing that might be easier to have right now? That's a really great way of doing it. And it also allows you to be more creative in your abundance, right? Okay, so moving into that, we also need to notice that there are emotional shadows revealing themselves in intuitive light and conscious wisdom. So allowing us to see there are aspects of ourselves that we're not being honest with ourselves on, parts of ourselves that are maybe overly controlling or overly overzealous or overly pessimistic or overly egoic, right? Certain things that our emotions are showing us that are out of balance, super important, and it's being revealed through intuitive light, meaning that we're starting to get clear downloads on how those things have affected us and why it's important to clear them, and noticing what we need to do in order to clear it so that we can move more into emotional bliss and awareness and conscious wisdom. Awareness of imbalances, like I said, both emotional and intuitive, as well as imbalances in mind, body, and spirit, will also be revealed. This is more of a lunar eclipse energy, allowing us to see the shadow and have that illuminated so that we can move fully into more of our light and purpose as well. So noticing that if you see any imbalances in yourself or imbalances in your relationships, making sure that you're doing your side of the street, cleaning your side of the street in the areas you need to really fix those imbalances and clear them so that you can find that leveled peace and serenity, right? The Serenity card. Okay, so also we have a little bit of duality in that essence as well, knowing that We have our consciousness Cancer energy from the sun being in Cancer during this full moon in Capricorn, and then we have the moon in Capricorn. So the consciousness of Cancer, remember we talked about Cancer is all about consciousness and the heart chakra and moving into our emotions through consciousness. And then we have the committed and ambition sense and discipline sense of Capricorn. So we're going to feel a little bit of duality where some of our responsibilities and our commitments are going to challenge our heart center, are going to challenge our new consciousness. They're going to challenge us and say, you know, maybe my heart doesn't want that commitment, or maybe my heart needs something different. How can I balance this? Or do I need to let go of one for the other? A lot of that idea of letting go one of from the other is created off of assumptions. It's not real. And so it's really important to notice that you can have it all. You can have the and. You usually can find a way creatively to maintain a commitment that you like, if you like that commitment and it's something that you enjoy and you don't want to let go of, you can find a way to still have that commitment work in and flow with whatever your heart might be pulling you towards that may be different, or whatever your consciousness might be showing you that may be different. Use your creativity to balance and find ways to have both if they're both serving you in certain areas. Don't get caught up in needing to sacrifice one or the other, or feeling conflicted between those two dualistic aspects if you're caught in the middle there. Super important, because it is all about the and. So it's important not to neglect either, because you need consciousness in order to stay committed to something. You also need commitment in order to stay in consciousness, right? You need discipline and commitment to stay in consciousness. So you do need both. And so it's important to notice how they're both helping you and keep those things active. Okay, grounding into emotions and gaining discipline through actions towards ambitions is a lot of the full moon in Capricorn energy, allowing us to feel more connected to our emotions and really express them more, allowing us to feel more embodied in our emotions and balanced there, and finding discipline in our emotions, noticing that when we feel something internally, we honor it, but we sometimes don't need to express it in the way that we're impulsively guided to, right? It's finding that balance of, okay, I'm feeling this intense emotion, but I don't have to scream and yell. I can intuitively find grace and find a better way of communicating this, right? For it to be more effective. So I think that's everything. Oh, and express your feelings. Pretty self-explanatory there, pretty straightforward. Expressing your feelings is huge this week, so don't limit your expression of feelings. If you feel like you don't know how to express your feelings to someone without hurting them or causing more tension, journal. Journal it out. Get all of those angry words and angry thoughts and deep, intense emotions out on paper, and then go back, read it, and then find a way to still say what you need to say without hurting or harming you or the other person, right? Or the situation. That can be a really good practice because it's working on your filter and it's allowing you to work it out slowly instead of having to work it out quickly under pressure in a conversation or in an argument. So that can just start to let you get used to processing your emotions in a better way. And then once you practice that a lot, you'll be able to have that kind of process in any kind of setting. When you need to have a quick disagreement or when you need to process it deeper, you can have a way of processing that's practiced and easy for you. So express your feelings, okay? All right, so real quick, I'm just going to do a little channeled message for each of the signs based on this lunar eclipse and full moon in Capricorn energy, and that will be it. Okay, I don't think I'm going to pull cards for this one unless you guys like request cards. If you really need cards for it, let me know. Yeah, I'll pull cards if you want me to, but we're running into an hour, so I just want to try to keep it quick. But let's go ahead and start with Earth signs. I'm going to channel a message connecting to my higher self or any other high vibrational spirit guides of love and light who wish to connect and offer a message to us for the Earth signs, Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. I always have to look at my notes on which Earth signs are. Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn, just welcoming in a message for them for this week in general, specifically as well, considering the full moon in Capricorn and lunar eclipse for Earth signs, Taurus, Virgos, Capricorns. Taurus, Capricorns, Virgos, you are connecting to your divine structure, your ability to find foundation, stability, independence, individuality. The root of your being rests in your emotional balance and your ability to see clearly the aspects of your emotions that are grounded, that are connected, that are permanent, that are stable in you. Noticing the stable emotions, the ones that are immovable, the ones that make you you, and noticing if these emotions are part of your growth, are part of your decline. Are they causing you stress, worry, fear, or are they encouraging success? Noticing that if you are stable and secure, immovable in patience or in narcissism or in anger or even dishonesty, it is important that you are aware of this, noticing what pillars you are building your experience on, noticing what type of structure you are creating based on the emotions that you inhibit most, and shifting the vibration into more suitable emotions of success and activation towards your goals, allowing you to implement happy, joyful, blissful, peaceful, intuitive, expansive emotions, and creating the same outcomes based on what you are building your outcomes upon. That is for you, Earth signs, Taurus, Capricorns, Virgos. Okay, moving on into water signs, Cancers, Pisces, Scorpios. Cancers, Pisces, Scorpios, you are recognizing that as you go deeper and deeper into the depths of the seas of your emotion, the deep waters of your emotional body, you are recognizing that you do find light there, that you do find a new layer of enlightenment. Recognizing when you think of the sea, the deep oceans, there are fish, water life that have lights within their bodies, allowing them to illuminate the depths of the sea. Noticing that as you go deep, deep down into your heart space, deep into your emotional body, there is light. There is the ability to illuminate these areas and find new consciousness, new success, new evolution, new expansion for your being. Do not fear the depths of your emotion. Do not assume negativity in searching and diving deep into your emotional truths. Know that when you dive deep, you will find new light. There will be essences of your spirit that are there to save you, to uplift you, to inspire you, and to navigate you to new heights and new depths, knowing that both are necessary for progress, for wisdom, for rebirth, and for divine alignment and harmony. The depths of the seas for you are necessary, and it is important that you honor them, nurture them, and accept them for depth in spiritual growth as well. That's for the water signs, Cancers, Pisces, and Scorpios. Okay, moving on to the air signs, Geminis, Libras, Aquarius. Air signs, it is important to ground in your awareness, and also understand that the energies that you feel, the experiences that are taking you from point to point rapidly in growth, development, and physical movement are giving you new platforms to begin building off of, new aspects of yourself that you begin implementing, allowing you to grow, to expand in your spiritual alignment, knowing that you will feel somewhat ungrounded, somewhat all over the place, somewhat disconnected from physical reality and physical experience. But know that this is also a part of your ability to find new stability, to ground into new aspects of yourself and new growth. This allows a somewhat of a cycle, knowing that you will feel ungrounded in the beginning, but that with time you will begin to find ways to plant your feet deeper into the things that you have been moving in, the things that you have been igniting within yourself. And as you find more weight and depth in those areas, you find more stability, support, and comfort in consistency and commitment. So know that if you are feeling in the clouds or unattached or a little sporadic in your energy, that this will be temporary. And it is also important for the development of your success and of your continued cycling into your success and evolvement through your spiritual growth, through the downloads and signs and synchronicities you experience, and through your interactions with others, and your ability to not hold back in your expansion, allowing you to move freely, to find excitement in the rapid movement, and to allow this energy to take you higher and higher, knowing that the ground is always there to support you and will be there for you when the time is there and has come for you to plant your feet. So this is for the air signs, Aquarius, Libras, and Geminis. And finally, the fire signs, Sagittarius, Aries, and almost forgot, Leos. So Aries, Sagittarius, and Leos, tapping into a channeled message for them for the full moon and lunar eclipse. Fire signs, it is all about balance. It is all about allowing yourself to identify how you are expressing yourself and what parts of your expression need to be reeled back or amped up. Allowing yourself to notice the areas of your emotions that provide divine output, and recognizing that with every output of energy, you must also compensate for input of energy, allowing you to balance the ways in which you receive and give information, receive and give emotion, receive and give intuition. This is a give and take that is necessary and important, and is so incredibly determined by harmony and balance. Fire signs, it is important to reel back the extremes and find more balance in serenity, peace, and harmony. This is so crucial to your growth, fire signs, for oftentimes you get overly excited and move a little quicker than necessary. When you do so, you end up skipping steps or pivotal parts of your awareness and wisdom that is necessary for the longevity of your success and goals and management of them. So, slow and steady wins the race, allowing you to focus, observe, and reflect on all areas of imbalance and reel back the areas necessary and amp up the areas necessary to find complete harmony and abundance and success from such harmony and grace. Okay, so that's for the fire signs, Aries, Sagittarius, and Leos. Hope that helped you all. I hope that gave you some insight specifically for you all. I don't know if you guys requested cards or not, but it looks like you guys are okay without them. I don't see any huge requests right now. Lots of talk about sun signs and moon signs and awesome, cool things like that. Hedwig says, Josie, I'm going to follow the medical medium protocols. Anthony William, I hope to get more healthier too, even lose weight. Oh, I love that comment. And I also, I also do intuition on health. So if you guys need any medical intuition, and I'm absolutely able to tap into that stuff too. So if you need a little help on that, and I also have some really good advice on healthy lifestyles and eating that I've been helping coach some people in with losing weight and eating healthier and just becoming more vibrationally aligned with what they eat and fuel their bodies with. So if you guys need help on that, definitely let me know and I can help you with that as well. So happy for you guys all to be connecting here. Hedwig says, Rissa, thank you so much. Absolutely. Josie does want cards, so let me pull one card for the eclipse. I'm going to pull a Goddess Isis card. I'll pull two cards. One for the eclipse from Goddess Isis. And hopefully those channeled messages helped you guys. Let me know if you guys have any feedback or any questions on that. Happy to do it. We have another Channel and Chill event on July 27th, which is going to be great, where I channel messages from high vibrational guides of love and light. And I do that in person at Abundance Space in Scottsdale, Arizona. So I'll be doing that on the 27th. And I absolutely offer recorded channelings as well for that event if anybody wants to purchase one, and if they can't be there in person or whatever. And also recordings for the people who show up too. So if you're interested in the channel and chills, let me know. Message me or email me at readingsbyrissa@gmail.com. And don't worry, I have not forgot about the offer, the special, the intuitive reading special that I'm going to offer you all. So let me just pull these cards and then I'm going to get into that special real quick as an announcement before we leave. Oh my goodness, for the eclipse energy. I'm so glad, Josie, that you asked for cards because this is so synchronistic. This is the card that I pulled, a Goddess Isis card for the Lunar Eclipse energy. And guess what the card says? It's called the Lunar Queen. The Lunar Queen for the Lunar Eclipse is what we got for the card pull. How perfect is that? So the card itself says, there is a deep feminine wisdom that recognizes the importance of cycles of rest and replenishment as essential to balance our actions of power and demonstration. Let me read that again because I said it weird. There is a deep feminine wisdom that recognizes the importance of cycles of rest and replenishment as essential to balance our actions of power and demonstration. You are asked to allow this replenishment for yourself now, trusting that you are in a cycle of creation that is about to shift into a new phase. Release and enjoy the process without having to control or force it. So, so, so true. Wow, powerful card, powerful card. I'm just going to read it one more time because I think it's just important for us to just kind of close our eyes and feel this message for this eclipse energy. There is a deep feminine wisdom that recognizes the importance of cycles of rest and replenishment as essential to balance our actions of power and demonstration. You are asked to allow this replenishment for yourself now, trusting that you are in a cycle of creation that is about to shift into a new phase. Release and enjoy the process without having to control or force it. Okay? Amazing. Amazing. I don't even feel like I need to pull another card. I feel like that's just so perfect even for the full moon in Capricorn, that energy of grounding our emotions and just not forcing anything. You know, just releasing and enjoying the process without having to control or force it, and knowing our deep feminine wisdom. And that goes for the men as well. We all have deep feminine wisdom and divine intuition, and we need to honor that sense of nurturance and self-love and compassion, and remember not to compromise our self-love. Remember, for anyone's comfort, we just want to love ourselves and make sure we fill our cup up before we give other people any of our energy, okay? Just allow, yes, as EM Vector says, absolutely. Okay, so moving on right to finish up this reading, I just want to announce just this beautiful combo reading special that I'm offering you guys. So I know I talked a little bit about the Cosmic Connections reading. That's just part of the offer, okay? I have 2 tiers of readings that I do. I have a specialized tier and I have a general tier. The general tier is an $80 reading, and it's a general reading which covers love, work, family life, or spiritual growth. That's one of the general tier readings. I also do an intuitive counseling to work through any emotional issues or traumatic issues, or just things that are involved in your lifestyle that you want to improve or clear over time. That's an intuitive counseling session. That's separate from the general reading, but it's on that tier, okay, for the $80. And then I've got the intuitive mentoring session, okay? That is me teaching you how to be more intuitive, teaching you and mentoring you in your spiritual growth and enlightenment, whatever questions you have or signs and synchronicities you haven't been able to make out or understand, or just whatever you're wanting to learn about your spiritual growth. That's on the general tier, okay? Then I have specialized tier. The specialized tier is a little bit more pricey. It's got the past life readings. That's where I connect with your past lives and give you information on where you were and who you were back then and how it affects you now. I've also got the Cosmic Connections as a specialized reading. That's a separate reading from the past life, but that one is also on that tier, that higher tier, and that's how you connect to your galactic guides. I talked a little bit about that in the beginning of this reading, and any multidimensional aspects of yourself that you want to uncover. I also have the energy cleansing session. Okay, the energy cleansing is where we go through all of your chakras and cleanse and clear and revitalize and rebalance all of your chakras with Reiki energy work that I do, and intuitive guidance. And then I also have mediumship for the specialty tier as well, where I connect to past life or to passed on loved ones in your life that you want to reconnect with in any way, or any other kind of higher vibrational guides or beings that you want to connect with in more of a channeled way. So I just gave you that preference to let you know this is what the combo special is about, okay? So you get to choose one of each of those tiers, whether it be you get one from the specialized tier, one from the general tier, and you get to combine those. Any 2 of your choice, as long as one is from the specialized and one is from general. And even if you want to do 2 from general, totally fine, but not 2 from specialized, because you won't be able to get that deal for that. But it's a $165 special, okay? Which is insanely good because, like I told you, that general tier is $80 regular price. The top tier is $111 regular price, what comes up to be $191 total. But for this deal, you're getting it at $165, okay? So a really big discount there, and you're gonna be able to get all of that healing. So whether you wanna do a past life reading with a general reading, or you wanna do a mediumship with an intuitive counseling, or you wanna do maybe an energy work or energy clearing with an intuitive mentoring, whatever kind of combo you want, it's really up to you. You get to do whatever you want. Maybe you've been thinking, man, I really want to get a past life reading, but it's just a little out of my budget, and I know I need a general reading too. Let's get both for you. Let's get them knocked out at $165. Super, super inexpensive, okay? So if you're interested in that, or if you need to maybe get one for a friend, you know a friend needs one, let me know. readingsbyrissa@gmail.com or at readingsbyrissa on Instagram. You can message me to schedule any of your combo readings, and we can do them back to back or separate, whichever one you want. And I'm going to extend that special out today. Starting today, you guys are the first ones to hear it. I haven't even released it on any of my other social media platforms. So, and whenever I release a combo special, you guys, my schedule fills up really fast. It's like people like wait for them, they're excited. So definitely, if this is something that's calling to your spirit, message me right away. Let's get you in so we don't get into that whole like, oh, I can't see you until next week because I'm so busy. So let's just get it done now, get ahead of it. And that's why I wanted to offer it to my YouTube family first, because you guys are my ride or dies, my tribe that always connects every week, and I appreciate you so much. So exclusive offer, $165 combo reading special, combo of your choice, 2 sessions, 1 specialty, 1 general, great, well-balanced and well-rounded healing and clearing and intuitive session for you. And I don't know how long I'm going to do this special for. It's really based on spirit. Spirit tells me, okay, you can stop the special, or hey, do this special for this amount of time. So I haven't gotten the message on when to end it yet, so it might end next week, it might end in a few days, I don't really know, but let's go ahead and get in to get that healing if you need it. All right. I love you so much. We're at 77 minutes right now, which is a perfect number to end on. I love you. I hope you have a wonderful day. Make sure to play back this reading as much as necessary throughout the week so you can implement all of these energies and integrate all of these messages, and share with a friend, subscribe, like, and comment. And I'll see you soon for another weekly reading next week, 1:11 p.m. Central Time, right here on my channel. Peace.